Hello, and welcome to the first video in our training series. We're going to start with SEO 101, Keyword Research and Implementation. I am Carrie DePhillips, the owner of the Content Factory. You may remember me from the last training video you watched. I've been in the SEO industry for over a decade. TCF, the Content Factory, is my marketing agency, and we drive millions of dollars worth of organic traffic to our clients on an annual basis. And I'm going to show you the exact techniques and tools that my team of SEO experts and writers use for our clients every single day to generate huge results. We're talking leads that turn into sales, not just traffic that bounces off your site and doesn't help you achieve your goals. I am joined by Kelly Chase.
Well, hello. I'm very excited to be here.
Kelly Chase is the digital strategist at the Content Factory, and she is an SEO expert herself.
Well, thank you.
You've been around for a while.
I sure have. Not my first rodeo.
No. Chris Horniak is not on this particular training video, but he will be leading things later on in the course. Chris Horniak is TCF's editor. And in another life, he was a college English professor.
Right. And not only is his leather jacket game clearly very strong.
Very strong, yeah.
But Chris is really in the trenches with the more technical aspects of SEO every single day with our writing team. And he really stays on top of all the latest. So when we get to the more complex issues around SEO, we're going to tag him in because he's really going to be the best person to talk to you about that.
It's appropriate that he looks a little assassin-y here in this photo because he is an SEO assassin, and he's going to teach you how to slay your competition in the search engine results pages.
Yes.
So let's get down to the basics, because some of you are starting, just starting out with SEO. So we're going to very quickly review the basics of what you need to know, and then very quickly this course is going to pick up speed, and by the end of it you'll be a complete expert. So let's start with what is SEO. Kelly, do you want to take that one?
Sure. So the SEO is the strategy of optimizing a web page to rank well in the SERPs. And you want to be you're going to have specifically chosen keywords that you're trying to target. We're going to get into how you figure out what those keywords are. But basically, it's how do you rank for the keywords that people would use when they were searching for a business like yours.
Throughout this training, we're going to be talking about white hat SEO. That is the only kind of SEO that you want to do. It's the only kind of SEO that I do and that my team does as well. White hat SEO is just solid SEO strategy following best practices. Black hat SEO is, a little shadier.
Yeah, absolutely. So what you want to know about SEO is that usually we're talking directly about Google, not about the other search engines. But with Google or any other search engine, basically the experience that they're trying to provide for their users is that they want them to search for something and then to very quickly find the information that they're looking for, and for that to be a complete answer. And so the best thing that you can do to get to the top of the search engine results page and to do well with Google, no matter how they update, is to constantly be creating that value for the users, so that people who are searching for those keywords are finding a complete, exhaustive explanation of the question that they have. And that's basically white hat SEO. And that is the most sustainable method that there is. Black hat SEO is always going to end up being a problem for you.
Right. And it basically comes down to there's no way for you to game this system, not really. So when you get an email from somebody who I don't even know how they found your email address that is offering to get you 1,000 high quality backlinks for the low price of whatever it is that they want you to pay, you don't want to jump on that offer, because that kind of activity sends a red flag to the search crawlers, and it says, something fishy's going on there, and you can get penalized. And with white hat SEO, you don't need to worry about getting penalized at any point in the future, because you've been above board from the beginning. And so the best way to stay above board and generate results is to create good content that provides actual value to your target audience.
Absolutely. And the way that you do that is basically by, well, how do you tell if it's good, right? So one way that you would tell that it's good is how it stacks up to other people in the space. How does this content compare to similar content? Because Google is going to look at all of the content that is focused on these keywords and decide what is the best. So if you want to be at the top, it makes sense that you're going to want to make your content better than the content that already ranks at the top of the SERPs.
And Rand Fishkin over at Moz came up with what's called the 10x law. And he says that your content should provide 10 times more value than what currently ranks at the top spot. And I would say that 3x can be sufficient. The bottom line here is, are you providing more value to the reader than what is currently ranking on the first page? If so, you've got a real shot at ranking. So here's what you need to look at when considering, can I 10x this content? Can I 3x this content? Can you write a longer post? Can it be more informative? Can you link to better and more updated resources? Can you essentially give the reader all of the information that they want to know about a particular subject from a place of authority and expertise? That's what you want to be asking yourself as you're looking at what currently ranks in the top 3, 5 on the search engine results pages. And what you want to do is make sure that you pop open when you're doing this kind of analysis for a particular keyword that you want to rank for. When you open up those tabs, make sure that you're not just using regular Google Chrome. You want to go in and open up an incognito window, because Google knows where you've been online and it wants to provide value as well. So it essentially ranks the content based on what it thinks you're looking for, and that's not what other people are seeing. When you open an incognito window, all of your personal search history is not taken into account when you do that research. So pop open that incognito window, search for your search term, and then as you are analyzing these pages, make sure you're in incognito. Basically.
Absolutely. So another thing that makes your content good is that if it's targeted. So this works in 2 ways. Going back to the idea that we've already talked about, which is kind of the central idea to SEO, which is that your content, if you want it to rank well, needs to be providing value to people who are searching for it. So not only does that help you rank well when your content is targeted, but also this works for you also, because you are now going to be getting traffic coming to your site, and these people are going to be looking for, if you choose your keywords correctly, the exact products and services that you are offering. And you can even use your keywords to target these people to see, hey, are they ready to buy? And we'll get into that in a little bit. So good content is targeted.
When your content is targeted, your content converts. And again, I like to say all the web traffic in the world doesn't matter if nobody makes a purchase. You need to keep that at the top of your mind. It doesn't matter if you're ranking for a lot of keywords if none of the keywords are intended for conversion. An example, the Content Factory's website, we have a blog post that ranks #1 for PR quotes right now. And as you might imagine, that it actually gets a surprising amount of traffic. A lot of people are looking for PR quotes to tweet, I think,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Whatnot. Anyway, so it gets a decent amount of traffic. It gets several thousand hits a month, but none of that traffic is ever converted. Nobody, not one time, who has ever searched and found our website for PR quotes has ever contacted us to reach out for services. And so that content, sure, it generates a lot of traffic to the website, but none of it converts, and so it doesn't really matter. And the way that you want to target your audience is with keywords. And let's review what a keyword is.
Yeah, just in case you don't know, a keyword is basically the search query that is entered into a search engine when someone's looking for a web page.
Keyword research is what you need to do in order to find the right keywords that your target audience, your potential clients or customers are searching for. When they're actually looking for you, they just don't know it yet.
Absolutely. So keyword research is basically the best method of identifying the best keywords to target to help you do 3 things. The first is to generate organic traffic to your website. This is traffic that comes directly to you through the search engines, and it doesn't cost you anything beyond just the initial investment in generating the content. It also will help you increase conversion. So good keyword research is going to help you identify the keywords that people who are primed to make a purchase are searching for. And the third thing it's going to do is it's going to create tangible ROI for your business. The most amazing thing about using SEO to grow your business is that, as I just said, search engine traffic costs you nothing beyond whatever it costs you to generate the content and promote it in the first place. Unlike CPC ads where you're going to be, paying for it, and then as soon as you stop paying for it, that traffic goes away. Search engine traffic that comes in organically is going to come to you over time, and often, as long as you're maintaining the health of your website and periodically revamping your content, it's only going to grow over time. So when we're talking about creating ROI for your business, SEO is the strongest digital marketing move that you have.
Absolutely. People often come to us and they think that they want social media marketing or PR because it's shiny, but in almost all cases, the fastest, clearest, easiest, most sustainable path to real revenue generation is through SEO. And I just can't say enough about it. It's how I grew my agency. It's how we drive a lot of sales to our clients, and how you can drive a lot of sales to your website too. And it levels the playing field because you don't need to have a big ad budget to be competitive with people in your industry who are able to outspend you. If you're able to out-strategize them, which is entirely possible via SEO, you can get scrappy and acquire more market share and dominate the search engine results pages and kind of sneakily steal their revenue and add it to your own bank account.
And how fun is that?
I mean, that's just, I like that. I'm a competitive person, so it's always like, well, who am I doing this against?
Yeah, exactly. Everyone has to.
It's true.
The whole internet.
So there are a couple of different ways that you can calculate ROI from SEO. The clearest, obviously, is how many dollars does your website traffic generate for you? How many leads does it create for you if you're, in the service-based industry? That's clearly a dollars and cents way of looking at it, but also it adds value to your website, because as your website grows and it starts generating this highly targeted organic traffic, that's worth something in and of itself too. And it's ascertained by how much would you have to spend in order to generate the same amount of traffic via those exact same keywords if you were to be bidding on them in AdWords. And there are tools that make this clear for you. SEMrush, you should already have it.
Right? Yeah, if you haven't signed up already, pause this. There should be a link below in one of the handouts. We probably sent you an email. Go ahead and sign up for that right now, because we're going to be using SEMrush throughout this entire course. You, through our affiliate relationship, when you sign up through the link, are going to be able to get that first month, which is a $99 value, completely free. And if you cancel before the 30 days, you never have to pay for it. So you are going to want to get access to that so that you can use it throughout this course. And if you don't love it, go ahead and cancel. But after we show you what you can do with it, I think you're going to be in love.
So here's a snapshot, and this is just one of the many different things that you can look at in SEMrush, of the Content Factory's website, contentfact.com. You can see here over in the top left that we rank for about 15,000 keywords, which is a lot.
That's a lot.
A lot of keywords. You can rank for that many too. But as a result, we drive so much traffic to our website via organic search that traffic is valued at about $1 million a year. Meaning if I were to spend in AdWords the same, if I were to spend in AdWords what it would take to generate the same amount of traffic that my website gets, essentially for free, because I posted a lot of this content years ago and it's still dominating the search engine results pages. It's long-term, sustainable, consistent ROI, but here it's valued at about $1 million a year. I don't have to pay anything to get that traffic, to get those leads, to get those sales. I don't even have a sales team, never had one.
Yeah, I think this is really important to highlight, because I know that it can be hard for people, especially who are getting started, to really understand and conceptualize the value of organic traffic. And it's really easy to throw numbers out like $1 million worth of organic traffic a year. But if you can just stop for a second and think about your business and think about your goals and think about what a game changer it would be for you if you had $1 million to spend over the next year on CPC ads. How many new leads would you get? How much new business would you get? How would that elevate your profile to have that many people coming to your website each and every day? That would be a game changer for you, even if your business is pretty far along. Not many businesses have the budget to spend that kind of money on pay-per-click ads. And what's amazing with this organic traffic is that not only can you get all of that traffic and all the good things that come with that, but if you're doing it right, if you're playing your cards right, all of this free traffic is primed to convert.
Yes. There's no better traffic than highly targeted organic traffic. And you can see here, I have never run a cost per click campaign for the Content Factory. Never once. That line is flat and at the bottom because I don't need to. I essentially have $1 million ad budget that just runs automatically and I don't really have to think about it. And it's only getting stronger because I'm adding to it, as you might imagine.
Exactly. And we always like to stress with people that this is not an overnight play. You're not going to do this in 3 months from now, be generating $1 million worth of free traffic, but you will be generating more free traffic.
Yes.
And what if you could set your business up where you are right now and know that, say, in 2 years or 3 years down the road, you're up into the 6 and 7 figures of organic traffic. If you play your cards right, that can happen for you, but you need to start now. You need to build up the strategy now, but you are going to be setting yourself up for wild, crazy success later if you do the right things now.
You are not going to see a lot of quick movement with this. So if you start posting blog content and you watch this whole video training series and you've been implementing the strategies for like 3-4 months and you're like, I'm starting to see something. Starting to see some movement here, that's good, but it's not going gangbusters. It's not going to, because it takes a while. It is definitely a long-term play. But if you stay at it for 6 months, you're going to be amazed. And if you stay at it for a year, you will be so encouraged by what you see that you will devote more of your time and effort to it, as you should, because this is the highest and most consistent ROI that you're going to achieve at pretty much any digital marketing tactic that you could employ.
Absolutely.
So with that, don't get discouraged, guys. It's going to take a long time. Any SEO expert is going to tell you that if you stick with it, you will generate huge, huge numbers in terms of search traffic, but then also in terms of conversion rate, because we're going to show you how to target the right keywords. Here is another SEMrush snapshot of what the keyword domination can look like via Venn diagram. Kelly, do you want to explain this?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is one of my favorite case studies. We actually haven't updated this in a little bit, so it's actually, this blue bubble is much larger now on the right. But this is for our client Astroglide. And when we first started with them back in 2014, basically what these bubbles are visualizing for you is the amount of keywords that each of these, that Astroglide and 2 of its main competitors were ranking for at that time. And as you can see, Astroglide was behind the ball in terms of that. They were doing pretty well, but their competition was doing better. By 2016, after 2 years of concerted effort from the Content Factory, Astroglide, you can see now, completely eclipses the competition. And these are highly targeted keywords that are like very based on their industry, that are built to convert, that are built to bring in new customers, so that people who are looking for those kinds of products are much more likely to find Astroglide than they are to find their competition. And when you begin to see, in so many industries, you see this, where there's basically no one in the industry has really taken SEO seriously yet. It's still, as we say all the time, kind of the wild, wild west out here in the SEO streets. And if you take advantage of that first mover advantage, which there's a good chance, regardless of your industry, that you have a chance to be the first or one of the first to do it.
Seriously, so few people are getting it right.
Right, and when you're ranking for that many more keywords than everyone else, that means that you're taking that much traffic, and how many conversions in that, and how many new customers is that, and how much, I mean, you begin to see how it can snowball. And so if you are a smaller business or a newer business or a business that doesn't have a large marketing budget, if you really want to go toe to toe with your competition and really, go at them where it hurts at their bottom line, the best and easiest and also the cheapest way for you to do that is through SEO, and they're not even going to see you coming.
There is a great scene in the movie There Will Be Blood where Daniel Day-Lewis talks about drinking somebody else's milkshake. He drinks like all of the oil from his competitor's yard across the street because he had a long straw and he stuck it in and drank all of their milkshake. You can drink your competition's SEO milkshake, and you would be amazed at how few websites are getting SEO right. And it's because they're not targeting the right keywords. They're not creating the kind of content that's going to actually help them rank. And we're going to show you how to do all of this through this training. So I'm very excited to see what your competitive bubbles look like, you know, in another 3-6 months. It's going to be a fun thing to watch.
It's really cool.
So Kelly, let's talk about what makes for a good keyword.
For sure. So the 3 most important things that make a good keyword are 1, search volume, 2, cost per click, and 3, how competitive that keyword is. So we should probably go through those one by each one, because I know that these might be new concepts for some people.
Search volume is really simple. It is how many people are searching for that particular keyword each month. The higher the search volume, the more traffic you have the potential to get. So you're not probably going to want to target something that only gets 10 searches a month. The juice isn't going to be worth the squeeze for that low of a search volume. However, if something is getting 500,000 searches a month, you're probably going to short tail with it, and you're not going to be able to rank, and we'll get into that in a little bit. So what you're looking for is a sweet spot, and it's going to vary depending on your industry and depending on the services or products that you offer. But you're looking for a sweet spot that I would say, you know, 1,500, 2,500.
Yeah.
And even as far down as like even 100 if it's a highly targeted keyword for conversion.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to add there is a small exception to that. If you are, this probably isn't most of you, but let's say that you have a business and you're selling something like a very high-tech specialized piece of medical equipment. And this thing costs thousands of dollars, and there's only so many people in the world that even know it exists or that want it. It's, you know, big hospitals or whatever. And you only need to sell a few of these a year for your business to stay afloat. Then in that case, it can make sense to go for the smaller searches.
I would do that.
Yeah.
If your widget costs a lot of money, it can be worth targeting keywords that not many people search for, but not many people are going to be searching for niche, high dollar widgets.
Right. So for most people, the more search volume, the better.
Right, but not too high. And cost per click is something that you also want to take a look at. Cost per click is a quick and dirty way of finding out how valuable is that keyword, how primed for conversion is that keyword. And SEMrush gives you all of this information, but essentially what you want to look at is, are a lot of people paying for this in AdWords? If so, then it's going to have a high cost per click. Now ask yourself, why would somebody pay $11.32 a click for this particular keyword unless it was primed for conversion? So if you see a high cost per click associated with a particular keyword, it's probably because it's optimized for conversion. And that is where you're able to really see a lot of value and return on investment for your SEO efforts.
Exactly.
Competition.
Yeah, so competition is also really important. We talked about this a little bit, but you need to consider how hard is it to rank for that keyword, because you don't just want to rank for it. You don't just want to create this. You want to get to the top of the SERPs, because otherwise it doesn't matter how highly targeted that keyword is. It doesn't matter how much search volume you have. If you can't rank on the first page, you're probably never going to see any of that traffic, and so it doesn't matter.
Absolutely. And if you don't have a shot, don't waste your time. And again, we talked about, can you create content that provides 10 times more value, or at least significantly more value than what currently ranks #1? If you're up against a Wikipedia page, you don't have a shot. If you're up against an in-depth article on men's health, probably not going to be able to usurp that top spot. However, if Bob's Random Ideas is the website, you know, and Bob has about 300 words worth of thoughts on a particular keyword, and that's a keyword that you want to go for, you've got a real shot at easily outranking Bob. You just need to create more content, and we'll get into that in later trainings. But being able to assess how competitive a keyword is and realistically determine, do you have a shot at ranking? It's important that you're able to assess your website and your chances in order to go after the right keywords and really yield a lot of great results.
Totally. And so when we're talking about how difficult it is to get traffic when you're not on the first page of Google, now some of you will know this intuitively because probably chances are if you go to Google and you search for something and you're not finding something that looks like the right answer to your question on the first page, and probably by the second page, you're more likely to rephrase the query than you are to keep going. Like nobody keeps going because Google is so good at delivering us what we want that when it doesn't, you're like, well, I must be the problem.
Right. Clearly, I need to go back to that search box and type in a different string of keywords. And so 91.5% of people are never going to click to page 2.
Yeah.
They're going to rephrase before they click to page 2. And the top 3 results get about 2/3 of the clicks, and the top spot gets about 1/3. So if you're in position 4, you really want to rework your content. We'll get into revamp strategy later to be able to sneak your way into at least the top 3, because that's where the vast majority of clicks are going. Long tail keywords are how you're going to get there. So an example that I like to use all the time for the Content Factory is social media versus cost of social media marketing. The Content Factory offers social media marketing and training services, and I would never want to rank #1 for social media, even if I could, which by the way, I cannot, because what ranks #1 for social media? Twitter?
Maybe, yeah.
Am I up against Facebook?
Right? Maybe
I'm not going to make it.
The definition of social media, maybe? You're not going to beat it.
No, I'm not going to beat it. And even if I could, people searching for social media are probably not going to want to hire a social media marketing agency. It goes back to that ranking #1 for PR quotes. It doesn't really matter because none of that traffic ever converts. Social media is a probably 0 conversion keyword, at least from my perspective. However, cost of social media marketing is a great keyword. A lot fewer people each month are searching for the cost of social media marketing than are targeting social media, right? But cost of social media marketing, think of the intent behind that. If I'm sitting down and typing that into Google, I'm in the research phase before making a purchase. I'm probably trying to figure out, well, what do I need to budget for this? And so when they find our website, they find our complete guide to not only our pricing, but pricing in general, to give them an idea of where we fall relative to, they might be able to go more expensive or cheaper, and we're honest about that. That post gets regularly linked to from Forbes, Inc., Entrepreneur. The backlink profile on that is a real beast, but it's because it ranked #1, and so it started generating its own backlinks. And now basically nobody's going to be able to take that top spot for the search term cost of social media marketing, and that's fantastic because it converts like crazy. We've gotten so many clients who have found us via the cost of social media marketing post, and you can create a content strategy that will similarly target your potential clients and customers, and long tail keywords, again, focused on the right type of search intent, are how you're going to get there. There are 3 types of keywords in general. We have transactional, informational, and navigational. Transactional keywords like the cost of social media marketing are where you want to spend the vast majority of your time and effort.
Absolutely.
So, do you want to take this one?
Sure. So this all goes back to what Carrie was just talking about, which is the intent of the person who's sitting down at Google to search for something. And so when you're looking through these keywords and trying to figure out which ones are transactional keywords. Some of them are more obvious. It's things like cost of social media marketing, where you're talking about cost or price or how much or how to hire someone, something like that implies a direct purchase. But there are other ways that people imply that they are ready to purchase, and that's by being very specific. If you're using adjectives like best or cheapest or red even, that's telling you that they're looking for something very specific. And if it's a product or a service, chances are there's a good chance that they're looking to buy. So, think about that through, like when you're looking at your keywords, really try to put yourself in the mind of the person who would be searching for that, and that's going to help you identify which ones are transactional.
Transactional keywords are usually more competitive. Think about it, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's because they've got the highest conversion rate. So you're probably, when you're doing your keyword research in SEMrush Pro, when you're doing that keyword research, you're going to see that there's a dollar value associated with each of those keywords. Again, a cheap and dirty way of figuring out if a keyword is transactional is probably going to have a high CPC associated with it.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
They're going to be more competitive too. However, they're probably going to have a lower search volume. Fewer people are that direct with their intent when it comes to social media, or not social media marketing, with their searching, right? So informational keywords are the next type of keywords that you might want to target. And these are absolutely worth targeting. They're not going to convert as well, but you've got a greater shot at generating more traffic and educating your target reader, target audience, potential customers and clients with informational keywords.
Absolutely. And what's really cool about informational keywords is that not only can you build like really amazing comprehensive guides around them that can help to establish your brand as an expert in the industry, but also as they bring in, if these are high volume keywords, as this starts to rank, sure, it might not be transactional, this particular post, but what it does do is that when it comes to SEO, we often talk about the concept of a rising tide raising all ships. So if your content, if you have pieces of content on your site that are performing really well, that are really informing the customer and educating them, if they're hanging around for a while and staying on site, Google sees all of this and rewards it, and it rewards the website as a whole. And so your other content is going to see a boost from that as well. So when you see, you don't necessarily have to go after just transactional keywords. You can go after these informational keywords too in a strategic way, and that can be really useful as well.
Navigational keywords. You don't really need to work these into the mix too much for your SEO strategy. And the reason why is because you're probably already ranking for them already. As you might imagine, the Content Factory's website ranks numero uno for the Content Factory. And hopefully your brand name ranks #1 for your brand name search.
Yeah, unless you have a generic name, which in some cases can be advantageous to people, but for the most part, you don't want to have a name that's so generic that you aren't able to rank for it pretty easily. If your site is structured in a way that's kind of like intuitive and sane, if the back end of your site is healthy, which is something we'll talk about later with Chris, you're going to just rank for these things pretty naturally. And so we often, when we're looking at our own keywords or the keywords of clients, we actually tend to not value, sometimes we call them branded keywords,
right?
Because they don't, somebody who's looking for you specifically is going to find you probably anyway.
They already know what they're looking for when they type the Content Factory. People already know what they're searching for when they type the Content Factory into their search box, you know?
Absolutely. So, you're not really getting a lot of value there by targeting people who already know who you are and are looking for you. And you can see how that probably wouldn't give you the most ROI long term.
Yeah, in general, you really want to target the transactional keywords here and the informational keywords. And I would say if I had to put a split on it, I would do maybe even 50-50 to start.
Yeah, I think that's a good place, a good benchmark.
But the navigational keywords you've already got on lock. Chances are, look at you, already an SEO superstar.
Absolutely. So now, as we said, this is the first video in this training series. If you have not yet gotten a chance to take a look around in Zippy courses and kind of get the lay of the land and see the rest of the course, take some time after this video to do that. Basically, for each lesson, there's going to be a video, and it's going to be me and Chris and Carrie, or some combination of us walking you through that. And then below, you'll find a bunch of comprehensive how-to guides. I have templates that are the exact templates that we use in servicing our clients. We have the link to the free trial of SEMrush. So just make sure you look around, see if you have any questions. If you do, you can email me, Kelly, Kelly, @contentfact. That's F as in Frank, A as in Apple, C as in Charlie.com. And I or someone on the team will get back to you ASAP to answer whatever questions you might have. And we're really, really excited to see what this is going to do for your business. So don't be shy about reaching out. Let us know how it's going.
We love to hear good news.
Absolutely. And we know that if you go through this program and you follow these steps, that you're going to have so much good news to share. So please share it with us.
Yeah, absolutely. By the end of this course, you will be an SEO expert. I have designed this course to really download everything that you need to know in order to be dangerous in those SERPS streets.
It's going to be awesome. So anyways, we will see you guys in the next lesson.